tell this story about you real quick. So back when you were the EVP of the Jags or whatever your title was, we were in the playoffs in 17. And I guess they wouldn't put you had to sit in the press box.
Yeah.
Okay, for a couple of the playoff games. Do you remember?
I had to sit in the press box for all the games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you sat by me in the Patriots game. And I'm going to tell you people something. You want a treat, man. I told them this. You should auction this off. And the intensity, and he's right behind me, right? And on a different row. And I'm just sitting there watching the game and shooting the breeze with people and taking it in. And TC's there, and he's got that gum, and he's got his notes and his pencil, and he's working. And then you start hearing, and it's not loud because you can't.
No, you're not.
But you can't hold it back either.
You can't.
This guy can't hold it back.
Can't.
You've ever watched him on the sidelines?
Yeah.
Right? So there were a couple things, and there were a couple, I don't know, there might have been in that game, and it was a great game. It was such a
fumble.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
How do you keep quiet over that one? And I got the compensatory letter where it said, "We're so sorry." I said, my response
from them. Yeah.
My response to the league was, "Do you realize what that would have meant to this town
organization,
this city?
Oh,
if that had been properly officiated,
right?
Okay,
yeah, can't mess that one up
because the ball's in the end zone. I mean, there's nobody there left.
Yeah, yeah,
but they get the ball. Brady takes it down, and he's done so many times.
But my point is, there would be nothing cooler than to watch a game with you and get your point of view as the game unfolds. Because, again, I've watched a million games, but I would learn 1,000 times more in that 3 hours than I would in what I've watched through all my years. It's kind of cool just to see it through your eyes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting you would say that, but that's, you can't help it. You can't help it.
No, no.
And you try. You're not trying to overcoach something or say something negative, but it kind of happens.
Yeah. Well, one of your strongest attributes as a coach, and what people always, when I talk to former players who played for you, what they appreciate is you're straight with them.
Oh, yeah.
And that doesn't happen a lot in the league, but you're dead straight with them. And if they're not performing, you're telling them. If they're doing what you were straight with those guys. And when they look back, maybe in the moment, when you're telling them a few things they don't necessarily want to hear, they're not thrilled, but they appreciate it in the long run.
And they come back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's been so satisfying. Yeah. I don't know if that's the word, but to me is after, like Tony Baselli, and Fred Taylor. And even when Jimmy came back, for the jacket ceremony, when Fred told me, this story, when Fred told me, "I love you," I'm looking, and he tells me the story about when I tried to kill him. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the elevator doors are closing, but you still tried to kill me.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I threw him in the 9-on-7 right off the bat. First drill.
Right.
First drill his rookie year.
Yeah.
It was, and it, you can do all the talk you want about, well, we're not tackling.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Boom. Here they go. It's the Saints and the Jaguars.
That part, I was thinking about that as we wrap up the mandatory mini camp here and how it's changed. And even I think back to 95 was our first year together. And again, when you have a new coach, you send a message. Yeah. You did it in 17 too with Marone that first year. That training camp was extremely difficult as you could make it.
Yep.
Can't make it as difficult anymore as you used to.
Right.
But 95 was classic. My man here wants us to go get out of the heat. We're going to get some work done. We're going to Stevens Point, Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen. So, and he's got it all figured out. I mean, this, There's no more detailed person in the history of football than Tom Coughlin. You just have to understand this. So he's got it all worked out. We're going to Stevens Point, Wisconsin. So we in the media are like, oh, this is great. We'll be up there. We take turns, couple weeks up there. We're staying in the dorms. Non-AC, by the way. Thanks for Tom.
Non-AC,
the players, yes. Us, no. So no AC. We're up there. And they get the worst heat wave they've had in 100 years.
104 for a week.
Yeah. And this is back in the two-a-days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this
is real stuff now.
Every day is twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
full pads in the morning, uppers in the afternoon. Yep. And it's all night, too.
Yeah.
I mean, in those days, you remember.
Yeah.
We've had, for a number of years, one of the great all-timers is Dick Vermeil. He's been here.
Yes.
You should have seen how he operated.
Oh.
He was up. They were up all night. He never gave his assistant coaches, our meeting at night is going to be at, Parcells, 9:30.
Okay.
When I first go to work for Parcells, I just came from Marion Campbell.
Right.
Well, Marion was the same way as Dick.
Okay.
When you guys all get back here, we'll meet.
Okay.
So there was no time.
Okay.
So you'd be with Marion, you'd get back, and then at 11 o'clock at night, you'd have your meeting talking about 2 practices the next day, and then have to do all the scripting. But before you could start scripting, you had to come down to the coach's tavern with Marion and have a beer. It might be 1:30 in the morning, and you're up at 5 or 6 in the morning doing the. But so when I go with Parcells, I'm thinking it's relatively the same way. I walk in. Let's say his meetings were at 9:30. I'd walk in at 9:35, 9:40. He would rip. The first time I did it, he just ripped my butt about not being there on time. I said, I didn't know that was the structure was so, but it was.
Well, you didn't make that same mistake twice, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
No. Just as if.
And mine would run the same
Just
way.
as if we learned with you that if it was 8:30, we should be there at 8:25.
Right. It's going to start. Yeah.
Unless you're Jeff Prosser, who didn't show up late one time and still has never heard the end of it for a golf tournament. One of the great stories ever.
I'll never forget that one.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.